All right. What is going on, everyone? How are y'all doing tonight? Hit that like button, subscribe if you have not already. Oh my goodness, we are here again, once again, for another week in gaming. Welcome to the Gaming Den. What happened this week? My goodness, there was a lot actually. There's actually some stuff happening next week too. There's some stuff rumored to be happening at the end of the month, or before the end of the month, or right towards it, or whatever. We have stuff all the way through gaming, from what games we're playing, what games we have coming up that we're getting, what games that have come out that have been broken and busted, and what exec has put their foot in their mouth again. Also, there is some justice being served in the gaming world, or at least it looks like it's leaning that way, and I can't wait to discuss that with y'all as well. Also, there is a pretty big release coming up with Ghost of Yotei. It is coming out here in just a few weeks. But before that, we also have a release coming up Friday, which is Trails in the Sky FC. That's the one I'm wanting to talk about. I can't wait. Dizzy, I just read your comment. I can't wait to get into that with y'all. I'm super excited. I had a video that dropped today for the members. It'll be dropping for everybody else tomorrow. So if you're a member, go ahead and go give that a look. Basically, over Trails in the Sky FC, it's from a perspective of somebody who has little experience with the series, and so kind of just why I'm excited, what I saw in the game that I played, and kind of just who the game is for, and like the title says, should you buy? It's $60, and the most recent $60 game that I bought was, well, it ran like hot dog water. So it was not the most pleasant of experiences when going from combat to combat. So yeah, there is all of that. That's everything we're covering tonight. So we got some Randy Pitchford stuff. We got some stuff. Oh, I am so sorry. Second week, and I forgot to mention it. We have a members' voice section this week. I have selected one of two comments again, and we are going to be discussing it tonight. Will and I. He already knows what we're discussing. Y'all get to find out as it goes forward. And so, super ready for that. Can't wait to discuss it. It's going to be a good one. It's actually kind of could end up being a bit of a spicy topic, which is what one of the other commenters in it said. So, really excited about that. Once again, if you could hit that like button and share it out. The link, I am meant to pin that, but because I am super professional, we will we will just go ahead and pin that now. You can use the pinned comment at the top to go ahead and get this shared out. Really appreciate it if you do. Been listening to several other creators, not just in the video game space, in the political space, in the Magic the Gathering space, in the video game streaming space, and YouTube has done something with their algorithm to where my videos used to get, 2 to 500. Now they're getting 50 to 150, and it's crazy because I've been pushing out a lot more content over the last month, and so been talking to a few other creators that I know, and it's actually been happening to them as well. So sharing this out really does help. After all of that begging and pleading, let's go ahead and dive in. Will 777JP, they don't come here to hear from me, they come here to hear from the panel members and my guests and my friends and my fellow gamers. And you fall into damn near every one of those categories. Actually, you fall into every damn one of those categories. So Will 777JP, how are you, sir?
What is up, chat? I was like thrifty chat, and I stuttered. But what's up, chat? How y'all
What's up,
doing, man?
Thrat?
Yeah, Thrat.
Thrat.
I'm excited to be back, man. A lot of gaming happening right now, and I'm just having a great time. So I got a lot to talk about today.
Mm. Yeah, and Hero Down Under, God bless your soul, you've been off of social media. So this is going to be like a treat for you. Like this is this is going to be where you can get your weekly dose of just some highlights of what's going on in the gaming world, because that's what I use it for. This is how I get my weekly dose of what's going on. If I stayed in this world all week, I'd go insane. Um, Also, Voyager Randy with the RKO out of nowhere, dude. Those videos are hilarious. Where they like Photoshop Randy Orton doing an RKO to like some old lady walking across the street and she like stumbles or something. Like, it's hilarious. I love those videos. Hero Down Under, Dizzy Delta, Randy did lots of cocaine. Probably, dude. I don't think he's on it anymore. You can tell he's gained some weight, and people who really are on cocaine don't usually gain weight. Josh Ayers, yo everyone's, what's up, man? Glad to see you here. Uh, no, it's not just me, I promise. I'm talking about people who have like a million subscribers are noticing their views go from 300,000 per video down to 110,000 a video. It's real weird, and they've even like their content is very consistent. Or is he just getting fat? I mean, maybe. I don't know a lot of. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. So, Will, every week I gotta know, what are you playing, man?
I am playing firefighting simulator Ignite, which is the sequel to their first game, and they just dropped a patch yesterday that made the game amazing. Randy ain't the only one having issues. All the way from big AAA to firefighting simulator Ignite is also having issues, which we'll get into all that later. But that's the one I've been hitting heavy. I think I'm close to like 30 hours on that one. Came out last week Tuesday. And then I also been playing Borderlands 4 with the boys. That's been a fun experience. And I just installed Shinobi. My physical copy finally came in from Limited Run Games. I've been waiting on that one for 4 months.
So did it play without internet? That's I gotta know.
Yeah, I gotta watch the video. Drops.
You gotta watch the video, guys.
Day after tomorrow.
But yeah, no, you gotta watch the video. We're not even gonna get a sneak peek. I get no early access. You see this shit? Nothing.
I just gave you all early access, but in the video I said, if this fucking game don't play with no internet, fucking boycott Limited Run Games. But what I really wanted to see from this one, and you guys will see in the video, is this a completed version 1.0, or is there gonna be any updates or patches that we have to do? So that's the real quirks of the video, because we all know that, you know, Limited Run Games you're going to play with no internet. But yeah, it's a pretty cool little copy. I am dropping another. Actually, that's not coming out tomorrow. It's coming out the day after tomorrow, because tomorrow we do an unboxing with the Shinobi game, and they had some, you know, a couple cool items in there. And if you guys are interested, check it out. But I just love physical games, and you know, we're not protected over on physical. We're not protected on digital. If your game day one, more than likely is going to come out to be pretty, you know, incomplete. Performance will be shitty and patches, but we'll get into all that, which is probably the topic I'm most excited to get into.
Yeah, there's not a lot of stuff to talk about tonight, because I feel like, and I kept the other topics pretty yes, no, or oh, that's really cool. It's an update on blah blah blah. Like,
well, I mean, I'm excited for it all. You know, I just don't want to pick on that specific, but gaming is gaming.
And it's because that one has a chance to dovetail us off into so many other things. And so I know that you and I together have a really terrible habit of doing that anyways. So, what, Josh Ayers, you're not what? I don't know what you mean, you're not. Okay. Elaborate on the you're not and where that comment fell, because I don't understand what you're not on. Or what you're not means. Sorry, Josh. So, I have been playing the Trails in the Sky demo. Got that done. Been playing some Alien Nation, because I'm trying to fill a gap right now between 2 days ago and Friday. Because Friday is Trails in the Sky FC. Friday is the big day for me. That's the day that I have to get it, and then I have a week and a half essentially, because I have a convention I'm going to at the end of September. So I have about a week and a half to get an 80-hour game complete. That is not happening. But I'm super excited about being able to get this thing. And that's just going to be our first topic. Trails in the Sky FC is doing something that has never, ever, ever been done before in the series, and it's pretty freaking cool. You guys are not protected. We all have the ACCC ruling that if games are bad or have bad enough performance, we get refunds. Yeah, no, trust us. We know we're not protected. That is why I bought a game recently for $15.99. It never got a review, never got a copy. I have not talked about it, but I bought it. I was excited about it, and I don't know, I did. I talked about it a little bit last week, but I never made a video on it. because I played 15 minutes of the game and it was awful. Everything was bad. It stuttered. I don't even think it reached 40 frames a second. I don't think it reached 30, to be quite honest with you. It was so awful. It was rubber banding in a game that's not even online, so that was weird. Like, the online servers are non-existent anymore. They shut them down a year ago to make room for the new game that they're doing, and it was wildly awful. But because I got it digitally, because it wasn't a physical copy, I got it digitally, and yeah, can't get my money back or anything. So that's awesome. It got deleted though, so that's good. But anyways, Trails in the Sky FC is the first game in the entire series to be releasing worldwide. That is a huge, huge accomplishment. That is something that people like, creative underscore Kofi, those guys, have been pushing this series. They tell everybody about it. Oh, you're a fan of JRPGs, you're a fan of Final Fantasy, you're a fan of Persona, you're a fan of anything. Insert JRPG blah. Oh, have you played Trails? Have you played Trails? Have you checked it out yet? Have you played it? And the problem is anytime, especially in the last 4 years, anytime somebody asked that question, they would always be met with, well, where do you start? Or what game do I have to play first? Or how is everything connected? And then you get an hour-long diatribe on how, yes, everything's connected. The same people you see in Game 1, you might see in the Crossbell arc, or you might see in the Cold Steel arc, or whatever. Yeah, it's all interconnected. But don't worry, you don't have to know all the stuff. Now, the problem is that if you're a JRPG fan or a fan of these type of games where they're all story-based, or usually mostly story-driven games, at that point you're kind of screwed, because you're like, man, I'm missing all these little, like, you miss inside jokes that get set up in the first saga or the first series, and then somehow those characters get into the next arc and they make some of these same jokes, and you're like, I guess that's funny, but I don't really know. Like, literally, I've been told before that, like, I've messaged Kofi on some stuff in Trails from Zero, and he's been like, yeah, that's from this game that you haven't played because it's not out to where you can play it. You have to get it on an older device. And so, super happy about this, really excited. I got the trailer playing on the screen because, man, I just think it's awesome, and I cannot wait. Will, I know you played the demo a bit. What did you think of this game?
Uh, I, I enjoyed a little bit. I mean, the problem with me with JRPGs, number one, I'm not like the biggest fan of the art style for
Okay.
any of them. To me, I feel like they all look the same, which I know they don't, so don't crucify me. That's just a personal preference of mine. But I'm big into stories. That's why I like playing on PlayStation, because I just enjoy narrative-driven single-player games. Which, even though people say that, you don't need to play one for the other, but I'm like, I need to do it. So I don't want to just jump into something, and even though I may not need to have played the previous one, it's always itching at me. So that's my problem with these games. Trails in the Sky is pretty interesting. Even though I didn't play enough of it, the stuff that I seen online, I did catch an hour, which I've never really do this, but I catch an hour gameplay video or the demo over on Twitch, out of all places, while I was at work one day. And I was like, man, this looks pretty freaking dope. But I'm not going to be picking it up on Friday. I will be picking it up eventually. There's just so many games out that I still haven't even played much of Lost Soul Aside. I still haven't even beaten Metal Gear Solid. Hell is Us is sitting there. Borderlands, I'm like 10% done with it. You know what I mean? Shinobi came in today. Chronos, the physical copy, comes out Friday. Dying Like the Beast comes out tomorrow. Little Nightmares 3 comes out like the week after that. Like, there's just so many more games that I'm interested in playing that I've been waiting on that I don't know when I'll get to it, but I will.
Yeah, that's part of my problem. I have, well, yeah, because I have Trails in the Sky, I have Ghost of Yotei, and then I have Battlefield 6. In between that, there's probably going to be another couple games that I pick up, like a Shinobi, because I'm gonna need something to pull me out of two heavy story-driven games. Uh, so yeah, I get it. I was talking to another guy the other day, another creator that we know, and it was like, he goes, man, I'm done for the year. Like, he's like, between Borderlands 4, Trails in the Sky, Ghost of Yotei, and Battlefield 6, he was like, I mean, I'll probably buy a couple more things, but I'm not gonna have time to play anything outside of those. And so we are in a position right now where folks are planning the rest of their year in gaming off of games coming out in the next 2 to 3 weeks. It's absolutely crazy. We have so much crap coming. And so I fully get it when you're like, man, I don't know if I'm probably not going to get it day one. If you're not in there like swimwear like me and other people are, like, dude, just back away. Let it sit. It'll be okay. The only downside, and this is just mainly for you and other guys who are mainly physical guys, the physical copies of this are seemingly going to be a bit difficult to get your hands on. I went to GameStop last Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, and essentially what they told me is I couldn't pre-order the copy because it was too close to release date, and they don't have any necessarily extra copies. So whoever's already put in the pre-order, they're already getting it, and more people have pre-ordered than they thought were going to pre-order. So like GameStop themselves said, hey, nobody else can pre-order. And so like I don't have a physical copy waiting on me anywhere. And so I might, because Amazon is also sold out of the physical copy. So just a heads up, if you're looking for physical, even though you can't play it right now, you may still want to pick it up day one.
So those games like that, they're which is crazy because in the East they print them out like this hotcakes over there, even though the numbers don't support the amount that they freaking print. But Video Games Plus is a big one. You'll be able to get a copy almost anytime. Also play Asia. The other thing too, GameStop is highly unorganized.
That's true too.
So the best thing to do with GameStop, because this is Trails, what's it called? Trails of the game we're talking about, Trails in the Sky. Trails in the Sky. Thank you. Is I don't want to say it's a small game because it's not, but it's not something that your general Western audience is going after, right? So there's gonna be a big push in the beginning for the hardcore of this IP, and a lot of the times publishers, they don't continue printing after that first batch. Now, hopefully, with the success of that first batch, that second batch is probably going to be 80% less, but it still will get printed, especially if they sell out with the first one during the pre-order process. And that's just what I've been noticing with games coming, Japanese games coming over. I mean, if you look at a game like The Girl Who Stole Time, I mean, that game was extremely successful as an IP in the West, and they still didn't print it in the West, but they printed a shit ton in the East. So it all varies, but Thrifty's right. If you are wanting to get this game, don't wait till month 2, month 3. Get it relatively soon. I think in GameStop, not walking into a store, but just pre-ordering it online right now, you can still get it. So if you go to GameStop right at this very minute,
hell, it was out, you can. It was out yesterday, or the day that I went, because I checked.
Yeah, I'm here right now. They got some for the PS5 and for the for the Switch. And also, unpopular opinion, because people like dunking on GameStop as much as possible, GameStop does try to get you the game by day one. Now, pre-ordering it right now, that won't happen.
Sure.
But they will definitely try when you pre-order it in time. But yeah, no, physical's the game, bro. I mean, I spend a majority of my time looking for physical games that don't even exist, and it's a challenge, especially with that 3%.
Will's over here chasing ghosts, man. I want my games. I want my games. Where are they? Well, Will, that was never made. Somebody made it somewhere. It's
Well, look, man, I just got a copy of Laika Ace Through Blood,
yeah.
which came out like 4 years ago. I just got a physical copy. Didn't exist. Didn't exist. And I like, did I manifest this? But I got one of four. I think it's either 4 or 10,000 copies. I believe it was 4,000 copies. 2K for Switch, 2K for PS5.
That's crazy.
So
Man.
sometimes you just gotta wait it out.
Yeah. No. Hey, listen. I now need this game in my life, so I'm gonna be day one. I can't play the. I almost started playing the demo again today, because I was like, I am so. Because this is the first game in the series, dude. Like this is where everything starts. This is where all of the story begins. This is a full ground up remake of the game that came out in 2004 in Japan. So like, really
Real quick,
freaking
Thrifty.
excited.
Voyager, I can sometimes manifest things, but I can't create the impossible, man. And Light No Fire ain't coming out till 2077, so I can't help you with that.
Listen. Light No Fire is gonna come out at around the same time as GTA 6. Both them motherfuckers ain't never coming. Both,
Exactly.
those are gonna be the worst cases of edging in video game history.
Oh my god.
Like, that's why have y'all heard me at all one time report on GTA 6 possibly getting delayed again? Hell no. I expect that to happen at least 3 more times. Like, what are y'all like? Have you seen?
That's why they give y'all free content.
Yeah. Like, I've been leery about that game because of how great everything looks. Like, I don't know how the hell they're supposed to pull that off on console. Hell, I barely know how they're going to pull that shit off on PC.
It's Rockstar, man. They're them dudes. I mean, look, that's their breadwinner. They're gonna do everything in their possible. They don't care if they have to do a freaking ceremony and call the ancestors of freaking Jupiter to make this fucking thing happen. They're gonna make it happen.
They're gonna try at least.
And I mean, look, it's gonna be like I don't want to say like a Borderlands situation, but I think that if GTA comes out and it's not hitting 60 or whatever people's expectations are, if it's less than that, guess what I'm saying? People are still gonna buy it. They're still gonna like this is as slam dunk as you can get, for any game in history. It's just ridiculous. So remember, more people are playing video games now than any time in history, right? So those numbers are gonna be ridiculous.
Yeah, Rockstar has. Brian East just said, "Yeah, Rockstar has time on their side. They've been at this for years now."
Years, 2 decades. I mean, like we're a couple years away from a decade and a half.
Easy for you to say. Shit. Oh man, yeah, but no, y'all are right. It's I just don't think that those games are ever coming. Really, Light No Fire will come out, but GTA 6, it's gonna be like the PS7. That's when that's coming. All right, so speaking of games coming out, let's get over to here real quick. Ghost of Yotei releases soon, and very soon. And so we have Ghost of Yotei release date explained, exact start times, release date confirmed, blah 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 blah. We know all of this shit. It's coming out at the end of the month, or at the beginning of next month. My bad. We will be getting reviews. Hang on. It's on here somewhere. I remember because I clicked on it earlier. Here's the embargo date one. The reviews will be able to start dropping on September 25th. So that's when we start getting reviews of the game. And so we're going to start talking here on kind of our expectations for the game. This is one of Sony's tentpole titles. Whether like it, love it, lump it, hate it, this is one of their tentpole titles from one of their big studios. This is from Sucker Punch. We expect a lot from their big studios. We will continue to expect a lot from their big studios. I think as we should. They have kind of 5 main studios that everybody expects high level, triple, quadruple, quintuple A level quality, and this is one of them. So, first I want to know though, in terms of, because as far as I've understood, Will, you're not day one. I know that I am. Is that still correct?
Not day one, unless I can get a pre-owned copy day one, which is slim to none.
Sure. Okay. So that's kind of what I thought. So we're gonna stay away from what you want from the game, what you don't want from the game. We're just gonna talk about just the industry side of it as a whole. So what do you think their sales are gonna be from release date to the end of the year? What do you think they're gonna get in those first 3 months? 5, 7, 2 million? What do you think?
Oh man, I haven't really gave it any thought, but I do think that it's gonna have a strong initial, but it won't sustain. So I'm thinking by the end of the year, they release October, at least 2, 3 months, I think they'll hit 5 million.
That's hilarious because I was actually typing in the chat. I am thinking 4 to 5 million also. That's kind of what I think they're gonna hit, and then I think they catch the second wave. Uh, some point mid quarter two of next year, not fiscal quarter, but actual quarter of the year. They hit that second wave, maybe word of mouth. The legends come out, kind of gets a boost. I could see it kind of peaking around 7 million, maybe a little
Yeah,
less, maybe 6.5. I think that's being generous. I see a world, and this is the
yeah.
shitty part. I see a world where this game doesn't break 3 million.
3
I
million?
3 million. I
Oh, okay. You mean alternative opinion?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I see an alternative reality here where it doesn't break 3 million. And I know that I'm day one, but I also know that people who would have been day one, like Will, aren't day one. And so I think this guy, crazy enough, and
And mind you, this is my top three favorite IP too.
I
So it's
know, I
not
know.
like it's just some rando.
What I'm hoping happens is when the game. What's up, Lunchy? What I'm hoping happens is when the game comes out, that there is enough positive buzz around it that it's just that good. It's checked all the Sony, PlayStation, top tier studio IP boxes for us, and people like you or people like other folks that I know who are like, nah, I'm hanging back from that, are gonna end up going, you know what, fuck it, I'm there day one, let's go. And so I'm kind of hoping that there's some good word of mouth, there's some good PR. I am really hoping that after the way Borderlands 4 released, the last, not Borderlands 4, sorry, the way that Lost Soul Aside released, and the way that video games have been allowed to release lately, I'm really hoping that this is like a palate cleanser where it's Sony, it's Sucker Punch, they know what the hell they're doing. They're using their own proprietary engine, releasing on one console, not multiple. I am hoping that the game comes out and it does exactly what it's supposed to do. And up to this point, Sony hasn't given us reason not to think this. And
I think
so, go ahead.
that the game is gonna come out polished, like typical PlayStation first party,
Okay.
and that's gonna be great for them. And it's gonna be the talk of the town or the talk of the industry on
You're going
how
to see
polished it
screenshots of
is.
people's faces again with fuzz on their face and
Yes,
shit.
with fuzz on their face and then all that. But what I think the game's going to be lacking in is going to be the substance, and that's why I don't think it's going to end up matching Ghost of Tsushima as far as sales numbers. I don't think it will reach that 10 million. Like you, I think it's going to cap out right around that 7 million. I even think that the Legends, it's not even going to bump it that much. And another thing too, I think October is terrible timing by PlayStation because there is so many games that are cheaper coming out that already did come out. I mean, Silksong came out a couple weeks ago and it's still going strong, and that's a $20 game. So I see a future here where people are saying, you know what? I'm still playing my games. Borderlands just got patched. Borderlands is now running at the performance mode that I was expecting it to be. Now I got time for Hellas Us. Now I got time for Chronos, Dying Light the Beast. And I think it might even have a little small or slow start. But we will see. As far as the quality goes, it's going to be there. I think the substance, that's what gets people hyped and gives the game longevity. And that's where I think Ghost of Yotei is going to fail. I hope I'm wrong, because that's my issue with the game. I think it's going to be just a freaking. They made it to make it. because of the success of the first one. But if they were going to do that, they might as well have continued. Never mind. We won't. We're not getting into that. But yeah, polish wise, it's going to be right there.
Yeah, and the only reason I'm saying not get into it is because you and we've had that conversation twice on the show, and rehashing it a third time is like what Hero and I do with Last of Us Part Two. So like, there's just people have heard that already. They know kind of where I stand on it. They know where you're at on it, and so I'm looking more on like the gaming industry side. Like I I am hopeful more than not for the polish, and that's not like a, oh my god, I hope it's good. That's a I still trust Sony top tier development teams. I still trust them to get a game out that once they actually release the damn thing is in a good working state. Like outside of maybe what was Horizon Forbidden West, its big one. It was Hero Light and Hair Shimmer. Like those were the two things wrong with Horizon Forbidden West at launch. Her hair shimmered too much and she had that Hero Light thing that was too bright in cutscenes. So like what's up, Rachie? Ooh, I am echoing.
Yeah, I think let me just I think Josh says something here that he said Ghost of Tsushima had a boost thanks to the pandemic. I wouldn't compare it to the same level as Tsushima. Well, I disagree with that because we have uh COVID, I say fully ended right around 2023, where people were now like fully back at work, work from home jobs were depleting, go back to the office, all that jazz. And we still had super, super successful games in between there. Not just that, even Assassin's Creed Shadow hit higher numbers than I think a lot of people thought was going to hit. So I don't think that's going to be the case. Plus, with Ghost already existing, I think that Ghost of Yotei is going to get a lot of that um, positiveness or a lot of that culture talk from the game. So a lot of that's going to carry over. So I don't think that the boost that Tsushima got is going to affect this one, Ghost of Yotei. Also, with how good Tsushima was, I think it would have reached 10 million no matter what. I mean, that game is just phenomenal. And then we got Ragnarok, that hit big numbers. As a matter of fact, God of War 2018, I just went over the podcast on Sunday. I think it was number 18 or either 17, between 15 and 20 of the best selling game in PlayStation history. So, like I said in
Wild,
the
right?
beginning here,
Like
it's crazy.
like
Spider-Man
fucking
Miles
wild.
Morales made it. I mean, a few games,
All three
but
Spider-Man made it.
yeah, all three. Yeah, you're right. 18 Morales and two, and two was even more impressive because that one just came out a couple years ago,
And only
but
on the PS5.
and only on the PS5. Yes.
Which means
So
every bastard who had a PS5 damn near played Spider-Man 2.
yeah, a lot of people. So I think with gaming, because don't let these freaking journalists, quote unquote journalists, or these numbers report people fool you, because according to them, console gaming is dying, right? Even though PlayStation is making more money than they ever have before, even though the PS5 numbers are neck and neck with PS4, and some people are saying it's even gonna beat it. And I think that it can. It just depends how the generation ends. If the generation ends with the bangers that the PS4 had, I definitely think it's going to beat the PS4. But I don't think it will be affected. I think if the game doesn't sell well, it's going to be because of the game. Gamers have always found a way to play the games they want to play, whether it's having to buy their own
Facts.
console. We saw that with Harry Potter. Whether it's waiting for restock, we saw that with Expedition 33, especially physical. I mean, we saw people that bought the game multiple times, not just for their preferred console, but then for their backup console, right? If they played on Xbox majority and they had a PS5, they bought it digitally for the Xbox or played it on Game Pass, and then they waited for that physical restock on the PS5 version and went ahead and bought that. So we're getting a lot more double dipping than ever. I'm doing a lot of double dipping as well, mainly on smaller games, but that's besides the point. So I think that all you have to do is really sell the game. Just sell the game. The gamer's gonna go out there and buy it. Also, according to the reports, the people in our generation, the millennials, not only are we still buying or spending the same amount of money that we normally do, but we're actually spending more. where the younger generation, they're spending less. So that also goes with the argument that I've always been saying of, if all these publisher or developers and publishers are making games for the younger generation, for the kids, but yet we're the ones spending the money, not just spending the money, we're spending more money than we ever have. What are they doing here? You know, are they really looking at the numbers? Are they seeing something that we're not seeing and we're being completely lied to? It's one or the other, right? So I think any big AAA game that made a good game has nothing but air and opportunity to make that game successful. Back to you, Thrifty.
I thought you, I thought you were still going. I was like, I'm gonna let him go. But no, I think you're right. Like, I mean, gamers are always gonna follow the games that they want. I mean, you're absolutely. There's an echo also. I don't know if that's your mic or mine. I just reset mine. So let me do this. Oh, it's gone now. Okay. Yeah, that echo is gone. Sweet. Okay. So. Oh, it's back now. Yeah, I think that's yours. Okay, yeah. Because I can even hear when you mute on your end. Okay. Cool. So, where was I? Games coming out, broken, playing the games we want. Yes, okay, so playing the games that we want to play. I did that with Lost Soul Aside. I mean, I did. I didn't play the demo. I should be... I should have played the demo. I should have canceled my pre-order. But I didn't, because I didn't want to, I guess, not play the title that I was looking forward to for so long. And so it's something that we do as gamers where we will absolutely, positively play the game that we want no matter what. Unless the game is completely 100,000,000% unplayable, then you won't be able to. But even then, you'll still have people dealing with it, having 25 crashes a day, whatever, just to be able to play the game they want. Hell, look at Cyberpunk 2077. That game came out as absolute trash. And it sold a fuck ton. Like, it sold a ton. Because people wanted the game. Didn't matter that your guy T-post on a car going down the road. Didn't matter that when you walked out of a building, you fall through the world. It didn't matter that it would crash your system, that it would overheat your PC. None of that mattered. Who cares? CD Projekt Red released a game, and I want to play it. Which basket is that, War? The basket that says people will... No. I didn't say games that you didn't enjoy. As a matter of fact, I'm saying that you play games that you enjoy that are bad. Objectively bad. Either at launch because of performance issues, or for one reason or another, but right now it's in the context of performance issues. Like, it's just bad. I think Will is muted right now, because when he's...
I'm not.
Oh, you're not
muted.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay. And so it's sold, and I refunded that thing so fast. I bet you did. But no, I'm talking in the like performance issues, like Outriders. Okay, I point to that game a lot because it had a ton of performance issues at launch. It had a ton of performance issues 2-3 months after launch, but that game was a hell of a lot of fun, so we played it. Wara. Okay. So if a game crashes on you 6 or 7 times in a night, and then you go back and play it, and you play it again and it crashes on you another 3 or 4 times in a night, but you love the game when it's not crashing, and you still go back to play it, that to me is playing the game in spite of how bad it is. Playing a game like Lost Soul Aside that glitches every single freaking time the stupid thing autosaves. That crashes whenever the map on the world splits, or the world graphic there's a graphic for the random encounter that like shatters the world and takes you into the random encounter like on a lot of RPGs when it crashes, but you still play it anyways. Yeah, that's because the game was fun and I was having a good time with parts of the game. But objectively, it still wasn't running good and it was running objectively bad. And so yeah, I do think that we all do it. I really do. Uh, Will, what about you, man? You ever played a game that had performance issues that you went through it?
Well, Cyberpunk is the biggest example, but that one I didn't go through it. I waited, so I stopped. I mean, I liked what was going on with that game. I knew it had potential, and I knew that because look, you're able to tell when a game is fire. It's just performance is not there, and I think Borderlands 4 is one of those. Um, and not for me, except for the connection part, which we'll get into. But I mean, this is about it's like the whole FOMO thing, right? It's like you gotta have self control a bit. It's like you're about to eat dinner, so why stop at McDonald's on the way home and stuff your face with 4 cheeseburgers and then expect to enjoy that dinner the same? And it's like if the game is what you wanted, you just they got to work on it a little bit more than just be a little patient. And it sucks, man. Look, I waited for Cyberpunk for I think 2 years or something like that before they dropped that 2.0 patch or update, and it was hell, man. It was the only game that I like would go to GameStop just to talk to the GameStop dude about Cyberpunk, even though he didn't know shit, just so I can go look at the freaking what are those books called where they like talk all about the game and like not cheat codes, but where all the secrets are and whatever those books are called. I used to just go there and read it, and then when the first release date, and then I found out they delayed it, was through GameStop. I think it was supposed to be a November release date, then I think it came out in December or vice versa, or something like that. And waiting those 2 years was tough. It was really, really tough. But I'm glad that I didn't play the whole game through, because when they finally did that 2.0 update, when they did the PS5 upgrade, and when they added all those additional features, it became one of my favorite games of all time, top 3. We have Ghost, we have Cyberpunk, and we have the Horizon IP. So it's just it's unfortunate, right? It shouldn't be like that, but with developers, we just accustom ourselves to, well, not me, but a lot of people online started saying, let them cook, right? Let them cook. Why? Because we got tired of playing these games incomplete, and then we get them, and you're like, you know what? We're going to wait anyways. We might as well let them finish doing what they're doing. But the problem is that it doesn't help. They're still releasing games that are not complete. So the only way we can really make a change is by speaking with our wallets, and unfortunately, people are not disciplined enough to do so.
So that's actually going to kind of bring us in to the next topic, and it's because you mentioned, game development time. You mentioned how long they took on a games coming out, and so our next topic is actually kind of in line with that, and it's going to be our member topic. So this is the members voice section. Let me minimize this real quick and bring up the members question for the night. It is from It's Just Henry Heck, and he says, just a question for the panel. Do you think games as a whole would be receptive, or gamers as a whole would be receptive, if PlayStation were to transition mostly making AA, indie style, or Nintendo Switch quality games in effort to give the gamers more? Okay, so now they're cooking.
Can you repeat that one more time? I didn't catch it.
Okay, so he says, do you think gamers as a whole would be receptive if PlayStation were allowed to transition to mostly making AA/indie style or Nintendo Switch quality games in an effort to give the gamers more? So that's a shout out to one of our members here, Henry Heck. Hero said no. End of discussion. Then Then he said, F no, I'm a casual. Then he said, no effing way. So we know where Hero stands on this. And, surprisingly enough, Henry directed this to the panel first. So, Will, what do you think, man? I have a two-part answer on this, so I have kind of somewhere in the middle ground, as I tend to do. So what do you think about this?
I'm so glad Henry asked that because I just talked about this on the podcast, and I'm not gonna say who, but he said I was insane. But either way, I'll tell you guys this, and I know Henry didn't listen to it because Henry was on a trip and he was busy. But my answer to that is not only is PlayStation and anybody else lacking on this aspect, it should be mandatory that they drop not just AA or indie size type games or style type games, but they should also be dropping games like Nintendo does, meaning art style and all that. That should be all part of the combination here. PlayStation has been in business for 30 years. We just got Silksong. These dudes were working on that game for 7 years. And I forgot the exact number, but it was like 10 to 15 people. The first one was made, I think it was 3 guys. Now, it doesn't have to be that big because Silksong, you're going to be sticking in, anywhere between 40 to 100 hours, depending how good you are. But me and Henry have this conversation all the time. I have this conversation with other people. There is nothing wrong where Sucker Punch has a team of 3, 4, 5 people out of the 2, 3, 400 they have to go ahead and make a little passion project. Maybe give them 2 years, 3 years, maybe give them 10 million, something. When you're spending $250, $300 million on these big AAA games, what's 5 million? You know what I mean? What's 7 million? And I think that these people are talented enough, have the sufficient technology, have sufficient backing from PlayStation where they could make this happen. But I think their mentality is we need all hands on deck. And not just all hands on deck, but let's hire 2-3 times the amount of people that we really need because of the work culture here in the United States. These people go to work, they get there at 9. By the time they get their latte, which is, they have a cafeteria with a freaking barista that works full time there. They finally get to their desk at 9:30. They do their cooler chat with their coworkers 9:45. Now let's get to work. But wait, it's 10, so that means we work for an hour and a half, 2 hours. We got to take our lunch break. Then we walk downstairs to the cafeteria again. We got our chef cooking up different meals for everybody. You do the whole thing. Now you get back to work around 1. Oh, look what time it is. It's 5 o'clock. Let's go back home because crunch is a bad thing. So when you have a work culture like that, of course it's going to take you 5, 6, 7 years to get anything done. Look at what's the dude from there's that freaking meme going around from the guy who owns Steam, or I think it's like an AI voiceover, and he's just like talking about the Chinese developer and how they're crushing us because they work, sleep, eat, and shit at work. But I'm like, there's some truth to that, right? Because their work culture is completely different, and we don't have a lot of the complaining and bitching and a lot of the babying that we do here in the States. So I think that these games, PlayStation should be putting these games out. I think they should be putting them out after every big release every couple years. So a big release like Ghost of Yotei comes out now. A small little indie size title comes out in 2 years, 3 years. And then that other big AAA game that the studio's working on, where there's a sequel, new IP, comes out 2-3 years after that. And if you do that, instead of just one game every freaking console generation, now you got at least 2 to 3. And that should be the standard. And the last thing I'll say is we have some of the smallest budget games crushing the numbers this year. These $40, $50 games, these $20, $30 indies are killing it, making hand over fist returns. While these people are focusing on live service, trying to get that one Powerball ticket to finally hit or that one lightning strike, how about you do something that's within your control? You know how to make a good game. You know how to make an interesting story. You know how to have interesting combat. put it to work in a bite-sized format, and put it out.
So you have some people in the chat, and I'm going to give you a chance to respond and kind of talk with them and all that. So here we go, because you got some people up in here who are talking to you about this stuff also. So happy with the AAA games. Okay, so Corey said people don't buy or play AA games that release now. Y'all dudes ask for more games and don't buy the games that are out now, bro. Talk about asking for shit that is against your own self. I don't understand the last part. What I will say is I agree with the first part, but then when you flipped it and said y'all dudes, you can lump me in that category, but Will buys damn near every game that's ever made for the console. So
No, I don't. Not every game.
He does. And so like you can't quite say that about him, but I understand your sentiment there is that like, hey, we ask for more games, we want these games, we say we want these games, then when they come out, they never hit the bestseller list, or very rarely do they hit the bestseller list or whatnot. Now, obviously, folks can point to Expedition 33 and Hollow Knight Silksong this year and be like, no, they were right there, see? But like, in general, we're speaking, they don't normally hit a $20 game doesn't hit the top sellers list.
But that's the misconception there. That's the misconception. See, that's the annoying part about the conversation, because people think if it doesn't sell 5 million copies, 10 million copies is a failure. That is not the case. If that was the case, there wouldn't be 10,000 new games on Steam every single year.
Right. No, no, and I didn't say it was a failure.
No, not you, but I'm talking to everybody else who's making that comment.
I didn't say it was a failure.
Just on my podcast, I talked about the dude who created not created, but he did. I think it was either the swinging mechanics or something with Spider-Man 2 or Spider-Man back for the PS2 era. And he just had an interview when Spider-Man 2018 came out. I think it was Vice or one of these fucking, people. And you know what he does now for a living? He doesn't work for a big studio. He works for himself. What do you mean by that, Will? Well, he lives in a modest house in Washington, probably the same size as a lot of the houses we all live in. And he works out of his basement developing games for the Switch. He puts out 1 to 3 games per year, and that affords him enough to make 6 figures a year. Now, not $300,000-$400,000 a year, but slightly over $100K, which pays for his mortgage, his cars, his wife's car, his wife's a stay-home mom. So obviously, when we talk about success, it's success to who? And then the other question is, what is success to them? Because if I invest $1 million in a game and we make 5, we just did 5 times the amount. That's a huge success. But people are always looking at the top 10, top 20, top 100 games. It's like, my guy, you may never reach Major League Baseball, but you can make a good living and a good career playing AA ball. You know what I mean? And that's all I'm saying is that people just have these expectations of, okay, Silksong is, doing whatever, 100 million copies in freaking a week. Yeah, that is unusual. Okay, right. That is the Michael Jordans. That is the LeBron James. Those are the 1 in a million type of games. Most video games in the industry, in the world, don't ever sell more than 100,000 copies. 99.9999% of games don't sell over 100,000 copies. So if there wasn't money to be made, why would people keep making them? And then the other thing that I said on my podcast was, we have YouTubers making video games, selling well, and once again, the definition of well is different. Well for them, right? Not sure. Well for a CD Projekt Red or a freaking Santa Monica studio, but well for them, where they're talking about making their next game. And they're not working for a living, except for, what they currently do, which is YouTube and whatever else. Even Matty Plays is making a game. He's not a multi-millionaire, but he still is investing in himself. And guess what? Matty Play game may not sell, right? But all it takes is
about that. He's like, this game may come out and nobody touch it.
Nobody touch it. But guess what? If he sells maybe 2,500 copies or 5,000 copies, if we just say like 10% of his YouTube subscribers support the game just because it's him, and he sells, 15,000 copies at $20, $30 a piece, that's a good chunk of change. Yeah. That's maybe enough to hire one more guy and maybe pay him 20 some bucks an hour. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's just so many different situations that to say that because a game doesn't hit the top 10, it's not worth doing. Like, that's just ludicrous.
Yeah, and so my take on the whole, should PlayStation do this? Would fans like lose their minds? Would it be bad for them? Would they accept it? Blah blah blah. I think that they should. So, funny enough, if you go back about 2 years, Will and I have talked about this, about PlayStation's cadence, what we would like to see from it. It was around the time Spider-Man 2 was coming out. The Venom DLC was rumored to be this whole game. This was before that even got canceled. It was just a rumor after people beat the game, came out, and it was like, yes, this is happening, then it's canceled, then it's not. Like, but I'm talking about in that moment, we talked about the cadence and how Miles Morales was so good for the studio, for the gamer. It was good for everybody. It gave their main team some breathing room on Spider-Man 2, let them get all that hammered out and nailed down, while giving the gamer something to reach in and interact with the IP on a very, very tangible 20-25 hour level. And it was a good price point, looked good, played good, the whole thing was fantastic. And so we have discussed this at length purposefully already, and so the easiest way to fix this and to make it to where you can kind of get both AA indie style games and these high level AAA games is use your studios like a tier system, okay? So like, and I'm not saying don't ever let one of the smaller studios work at a AAA level. I'm not saying that. I am saying that, let's say, and people are going to crucify me for this, but let's say somebody like Sony Bend, okay? Put them making like a freaking like Metroidvania side scroller, get part of their team split off making a smaller title. Hell, link it to Days Gone. Shit, do something. Like, link it to Days Gone, get a game out, push it out the door, see how it works, see how it sells.
That's what the people of what's the studio that sued for Subnautica? What's the name? Crafton. That's what Crafton did with damn, what's the name of the game? Redacted. Redacted is a super small, roguelike, not roguelike,
twin stick.
Maybe it is a roguelike, but your twin stick shooter. They used the IP of the big budget game that failed because they rushed it out the door. Protocol. They wanted Callisto Protocol, right? But and look, man, how much did Insomniac sell for the PlayStation back in 2000 and whatever? 300 million?
I was about to say like 285, I think. Is that right?
285, right?
I think.
So now just imagine this year around, this new financial year, PlayStation's like, all right, we got $3 billion to invest. Imagine if they took $1 billion of that and bought $300 million studios. Do you think those $300 million studios will be producing way more than Bungie is right now? Maybe not.
Yeah, I mean,
but the point is,
and that's the thing. I don't want them to buy anybody. To be quite frank.
No, I'm just giving you an example. Or you raise, like PlayStation likes to raise up their studios, right? They buy them when they're nobodies, and over the years and investment of time and money and their hard work, they become way bigger than what they got them at. But the point is that it's all it takes is one of these IPs to hit, and it could become your next big AAA IP or your big Silk song that nobody thought, or that wasn't going to do anything to do something.
Sorry, I'm reading the comments here. Voyager88 with the 1 gifted member. Thank you so much for that. I get to bump up the member goal. Hey guys, if we hit that member goal of 15 members, whether that's gifteds or people signing up for their own, we will do a members stream. It would normally be on Thursdays, but because Trails in the Sky FC is coming out Friday, I'd love to stream the opening of it with the members here. So if y'all hit that, we will be doing that on Friday. So let me get that updated. And I want to see them do a tiered system is what I really want to see them do. I want to see them do something where they have, and like even within their big studios, like Team A, Team B, Team C. Team C is over here working on back-end support for A and B. And A is working on the big AAA title, B is working on this AA indie title that's going to like fill in the gap in the IP or whatnot. Maybe Let's use. You know what? Let's use. Somebody was using. Somebody was Hero was talking about Insomniac in the chat. So let's just use them. So let's say you have Ratchet and Clank and Spider-Man. Those are kind of their two IP going forward. Spider-Man, Marvel, Wolverine, all that. So now that you've done a Spider-Man game, you have a little bit till your next Marvel game. Maybe releasing a shorter, like Ratchet and Clank style game. Maybe another maybe another adventure following Clank. Just a little something. Put it out. Keep your IPs going. Keep everything fresh. Give the gamer something to play while they're waiting on that next big, massive hit. And I would love to see them do that. Do I think they're going to? Probably not. Do I think they should? Yes. And do I think the gamer would be receptive if they stopped making AAA? Absolutely not. Right now, within the gaming market, there's about a handful of studios that we can count on to give us games that aren't busted and broken at the AAA level, and most of them have a PlayStation account manager signing their paychecks. Like, it's just... Will and I've talked about that also. Like, it's very much PlayStation, you kind of know what you're going to get. You're going to get really high production, really good quality, and honestly, people still want that. They still want their eyeballs to be melted. They still want the game to actually freaking work at launch. And so those type of things, I think that gamers wouldn't be receptive of, but if they went to a tiered system where they interlaced these smaller titles in with larger titles, I think that would be awesome. And instead of using remakes and remasters to get folks familiar with the engines they use, why not build these games in the engines they use so the junior developers can work their way up within these engines on smaller games and become senior developers? Anyways, that's like, whatever. Why would you do that? Why would you start somebody out on smaller stuff before they went to bigger things? Team 1, Spider-Man, 3, Team 2, Wolverine, Team 3, Ratchet and Clank. And I'm saying that one of those teams should end up being on a smaller title. That's just what I would like to see. And then Henry Heck said, holy shit, Steven Leon with the 10 gifted members. Whoa, talk about sidetracking me. Man Overboard, Gino DeMarco, Mixie, Rays, El Nini, 8K Dual Sensible, Weezard57, True Serum, Dark Princess, and Will 777JP. And then Voyager hit with the nice Steven. I understand that RNC is smaller, but...
Well, by smaller, we mean like $50 million smaller.
Right. Like, I mean smaller in every aspect.
That's
Steven
what I don't
Leon,
get.
thanks for the gifteds, man. Sorry,
that's what I don't get. Like people... They don't say shit about Ratchet and Clank, but Ratchet and Clank is exactly that. It's a smaller freaking game, $50 million. And by the way, Ratchet is the best-selling Ratchet and Clank. Well, it's on pace to be the best-selling Ratchet and Clank in the IP's history.
Which
right? One? Ratchet and Clank, the new one.
Oh, Rift Apart? Dude, Rift Apart's so freaking good.
So good. But it's on pace to be the best-selling Ratchet and Clank in the IP's history. So... people on one side are saying there's no room for these games, but yet we have Ratchet and Clank and other games of that kind of, tier that are doing extremely well. And the other thing, too, that I don't understand is, why are we limiting the video game industry? Like, why are we acting like the video game industry isn't, if not the biggest, one of the biggest industries in the world? Bigger than sports combined, bigger than music, bigger than movies. So why are we acting like all sorts of different games, different genres can exist? Why are we acting like there's only so a game can sell, or so many games can sell within a year? Like, I don't understand that at all. Because by saying no, we're the minority, right? The which I'm glad you said that, because that's going to be something I'm going to bring up later. But saying that we're the minority, right? The hard gamers who are on social media and YouTube and all these outlets talking about gaming. Exactly. We are the minority. I spoke to my cousin today who literally just plays a couple AAA games a year. And even he's asking me like, hey, remember when, we were kids and they used to have these like crazy games that I'm like, yeah, they still have those, but a big portion of them are over on Steam. And I kind of explained to him the whole how things work now, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna keep an eye on that. And he's the most casual of the casual you can get.
Yeah. I mean, it's sorry. I was once again. I was reading because these guys in the chat, man, they're saying some good stuff. Warwana just said Returnal also it would have been more commercially successful. It was priced at $40. Less people would have been priced out, but they would have had to make it less graphically impressive. And I mean, yeah, there's nostalgia is a very yes, it is. It is one hell of a drug. And Hero just said nostalgia is like an unwanted pregnancy. That's
Actually, me and War had a conversation about Returnal, and actually, Returnal attach rate to the console. I don't remember exactly, but it was like one of the highest ones of this console generation. So my argument with War when we had it on the Discord is, I think Returnal just came out at the wrong time.
just
I
needed
think
more
if it would have
people.
came out, I think if it would have came out after Elden Ring, it would have done better.
Yeah. They made no-name studios and no-name publishers. Raichi just said Returnal is my favorite game from Sony. I am excited about Soros. So what's funny is Nelson and I were playing Alien Nation, and we were talking about Returnal, and he has like 50 hours in it, and he hasn't made it past the second act. I have like 20 or 30 hours into it, and I haven't made it past the first act. So like, it was quite hilarious. Both of us talking and being like, "It's such a good game. I put so many hours into it and didn't get shit accomplished." Like those type of games are awesome though. Games that even if you totally suck at it, you still want to play it from time to time and go back in and check it out. And I checked it out when they redid or when they added multiplayer because I was like, "Ooh, this is going to be easier now." It wasn't. And so like really really good game. PS4 for the PS4 is Gravity Rush. I like Returnal but don't understand it. Wara just said, but so many people would be tired if the price was lowered, pay less for other games in the job. Yeah, yeah. Uh, I have less than 3 hours in Returnal, and I own it on disc. Aw, that's sad. Hey, Hero, listen. One night, actually, yeah, one night, maybe one Friday night, which will be Saturday morning for you. We can hop on and play some Returnal together. That because it really is a fun game, and once you get it down a little bit, it's really really good. Uh, I suck, and so I get to the first boss, I just can't beat him, and so yeah. Anyways, the Ghost of Yotai's coming out. It's doing all that. That's where that conversation was. I'm excited about it. I can't wait for it. I think it's going to win over some people. We've talked about Trails in the Sky already. Oh, hey. Oh, and that was the end of the user submitted topic by Henry. Guys, if you're a member, watch the channel notifications because every week I send out a question to remind y'all, hey, give anything you want me to talk about, any topics you want me to talk about related to gaming, throw them in there, and I choose one every week, and yeah, there you go. So we did that. Let's go ahead and get into the Randy Pitchford stuff. It's a bunch of shit. It's yeah, it's just a lot. This guy says some boneheaded shit. He says some stuff that's probably accurate too, but it's so weaved into the boneheaded stuff that this dude says that it's quite infuriating. And mind you, I didn't buy the game. I told y'all that I had really bad feelings about it once everything was embargoed, once things weren't getting shown off. It didn't feel good, and I was it just kind of had that ick to it. Come to find out, I was talking to Jez on last week's show. He had the same kind of and so he's even waiting to play it. And well, then we get things from this guy, Randy Pitchford, like this right here. Code your own engine and show us how it's done, please. We will be your customer when you pull it off. The the arrogance is dripping from this. And that's the problem. Code your own engine and show us how it's done. Well, hey, guess what? Here's the next article from today. With Borderlands 4 performance struggling, players are rejecting Randy Pitchford's support. That's in quotes because he has a whole thing on X where he's been trying to like help troubleshoot this damn thing. And they have started fixing things themselves. Hey, code your own engine and show us how it's done. Please, we'll be your customers when you pull it off. Gamers said, all right, we'll fix your shit for you. And so now they are fixing it. They are working on it. They are trying to get to the root cause of the problem. And so Randy once again gets his foot put in his own damn mouth. Oh, I'm sorry. Guys, I'm being totally unfair. At the end of this, he said it was all sarcasm. It makes all of this other bullshit totally fine. Totally fine. That's like him saying with all due respect. Like you can miss. Wara, okay. So code your own engines and show us how it's done, please. And players have been. So here's the big problem. Here's the problem I have with AAA studios. I had a rant that the audio quality was so freaking bad because I recorded it on my AirPod that I did not put it out there. Also, I don't like releasing rant videos. It's not really my thing. So because of that, I did not release it. I tried to re-record it, but just the frustration level wasn't there because I had already gotten it out in the first one, and by the time I'd gotten home that night, I was like, that just doesn't sound right. And so here's the frustration. We have games coming out by AAA studios that come out broken, buggy, beaten, battered, and messy. And sometimes they're attached to new IP, sometimes they're attached to existing IP. When they're attached to existing IP, a lot of times the gamer will look at the game and go, hey, I'm going to buy it regardless. I want it. I've been waiting on it. I'm going to buy it. Happens to all of us. Happens to a lot of us, rather. Can't really say all. Happens to a lot of us. The problem with that becomes the suits over these studios go, oh, the gamer's still going to buy it. Well, shit, we can still release it. We'll just do some patchwork afterwards, but we can go ahead and get that revenue starting. This sounds great. Let's do it. And so then they take the easy way out because that's what the gamer has said we'll let them do. A lot of gamers, allegedly, have said that, hey, go ahead, no problem. Broken, messy, great. Let's do it. Let's do it right now. And so, because of that, we're in a position where you do have games like Cyberpunk, you do have games like Survivor, you have games like Borderlands, you have games like Lost Soul Aside. Let's not leave that one out of there. Oh shit, there were so many that have come out. I had a list, and I should have wrote it down, and I did not. But there were a shit ton of games that have come out that have not been up to just full-on playable standards. Oh, Forspoken was on the list. It was hot garbage at launch. And so, like, you have all of these games that come out, and instead of not buying the title, instead of doing the thing that Will mentioned earlier, just wait. Oh, no, we gotta be there day one. We have to.
Wait. How many? Because I keep hearing this word unplayable. Borderlands isn't unplayable. Who's saying it's unplayable?
I mean, that's the thing. For some people, it is. They couldn't get out of the first menu. They couldn't get out of. They had friends who couldn't join. That was on one of the Steam reviews. Like, hey, listen, my friends can't get in here to join. As soon as they try to, it dies. And so, like.
So, go ahead, finish your thought.
It's been happening. it's not, and what's crazy to me is it's not just the people on PC. It's people on the PS5. It's people on the PS5 Pro. It's people on the Xbox Series X. It's some people on the Series S. Like, people everywhere are saying, hey, this game is having issues. Randy had to come out and say, hey, listen, guys, I've tried to help as much as I can. If there's something in this thread that I have not covered, go ahead and reach out to customer service. Like, if there's something in this that I have not covered, please reach out to customer service. Like, and dude is going out and just putting out fires like he's playing a real life firefighter simulator.
Warwana, were you, besides the connection, were you having any issues with the game? Because I've been playing the game and I know 9 other people, 2 on Xbox, the rest on PlayStation 5 Pro, PlayStation 5. The ones on Xbox haven't had any issues whatsoever, except when they played on PlayStation 5 with me. The other ones on PlayStation, nobody has had any issues, except for the connections, where you're playing with somebody, you get kicked out. Okay. So I don't know where this whole Innate hasn't had any issues.
Correct, and neither has Steve.
So I just don't know who these people are, because I have not heard of that. And I'm in the gaming community. I mean, I got 1,700 subscribers, not one person. And I've talked about, I mean, I got 4,000 views on that video. And outside from PC, which is basically frame rates, is the big deal over there, I just haven't heard or seen of people having issues. And this is when I told you in the message earlier, I'm going to defend Randy. I'm not going to defend Randy on the incomplete performance shitty part of the thing, because of course that's a shitty thing to do, which is nothing new. We've seen this over and over again. But Randy does make some points. And this is Randy. Look, I just got to know Randy a couple years ago. I didn't know Randy was the maker of Borderlands 3, which was my first Borderlands ever, up until like 2 years ago. I had no idea. But after doing all my research on him, Randy saying these things isn't anything new. It's been happening for decades. So people getting mad at Randy for who he is, to me, is kind of ridiculous. He was saying a lot of the similar shit back in Borderlands 1 and 2, but nobody said anything because the games were working just fine, right? Now that they're having issues, they're attacking him. But also, let's give Randy a little bit of credit here. And but the co-op kicks out are annoying. Okay, so War 1, the same thing, connection issues. But outside of that, the game is completely playable. But something Randy said, which is what I wanted to kind of defend him on a little bit here. And Henry, if you want me to repeat what you said, I will repeat it as well here. But Randy said, he gave us a little bit of stats. He said, fun facts, customer service reports for Borderlands 4 at roughly 1% or so of installs. Using that simple rounded ratio, more than half of the tickets, 0.55% of customers, are users reporting difficulty with their Shift accounts, lost emails, access, etc. The next highest ticket is about FOV controls on consoles, working on it, which they also made another post, I think it was the day before or 2 days before, that they're listening to the people and FOV is the number one thing that everybody wants, so they're going to look for a way to implement it, which I think it does needs it. Then he says, next, 0.055% of customers are reporting issues with Twitch drops, and 0.04% of customers are PC performance related, with CS flagging 0.009% as valid, 0.037 have experienced success with education settings coaching, meaning that out of the 0.009%, and once again, this is all the stuff that people submit tickets for. You know, they actually contact 2K or whatever the reporting process is,
right? They actually
because
go
of
through the
issues.
process.
They actually go through the process. So this is a super small sample size, right? So we can't speak for every, because this game's gonna sell
sample size
bonkers.
we got. Like it is what it is.
But it's what we have. Yes.
Yeah.
He says here, CS flagging as 0.009% is valid, 0.037 have experienced success with education settings coaching. That is less than 1% of 1%. So 0.01% of customers using CS tickets for valid performance issues. which is less than 1/5 of the users using CS to get help with the Twitch drops. So essentially, what the numbers kind of break down to, and the two that I want to focus on is specific, because the majority are shift accounts, meaning they get a code to get some free in-game items, it's not working, reset passwords or resend the code, whatever. That's the majority. Then the other majority is people wanting FOV. With the super small percentage of people actually reporting frame rates, they're fixing the majority of those with just coaching, meaning the team over there is teaching the gamer on how to adjust their settings on their PC properly. All right, that's the majority. And he's saying here that 0.009% of those are legit problems of the game. I have been working in customer service for basically my whole life. And when a customer's pissed off at you, not only do they bring their order back, they want their money back, they leave you a bad Google review, a bad Yelp, they do everything in their power to talk shit about you. When they're happy, they don't say anything. They don't leave a good review, they don't do anything. Some do, but the majority don't. That's why you'll see a lot of negative reviews more than positive. It's not that there is way more negative, it's just that the people that had a positive experience, they don't think about it, right? They got the service they needed, they move on, they don't think about, that's a super small thing. But we know, based on the communications I've had with roughly, and I don't want to say 1,700 people because obviously not all those watch my channel, and those are just my subscribers, but there is 4,000 people that have watched the video, which is double of what I have subscribed. PC is the one that keeps getting brought up for performance, not PS5 or console. So according to Randy's own numbers, the majority of the issues is people just not knowing how to tweak their settings. Also, we do know that the majority of PC gamers have old PCs. Their hardware is old. They're outdated. That's another thing that we know. This game is very, it requires a lot. And I've been playing with RPG. RPG is running at, I forgot, I think it was like 4K, 60, 90. I don't know. It was running really well. But that's because he had some PC thing that bumps up. It's like our version of PSSR on PC, frame gen or something like that, I think it's called. And RPG said that he's not noticing any lag or very little of it, which is a big reason of why PC gamers don't like using frame gen. It's because of the lag. Now, mind you, I may be wrong on what I'm saying. I just don't know about PC. I'm just taking what I've learned from Wara, what I've learned from RPG, and all the little things that I picked up from online to kind of relate this information to you. But I do know customer service. And I do believe, Randy, that the majority of the issues that they're having is because people don't know how to work their PC. Not dismissing all the issues, right? Because we're in the community, so we see the hardcore PC guys, and they sure as hell know how to do all that. And Nate, for example, he knows how to tweak everything. He does IT for a living, right? And I'm not saying anything we don't know. He's told us this publicly before. But those guys who are having the issues and know how to work a PC like no other, those are the guys we should be kind of listening to. But at the same time, people want to make it seem like the game is having much bigger problems than what it really does. And that's where we really have to remember that just a couple weeks ago, I think it was the director of Battlefield 6, and I could be wrong, but it was an interview that happened, and he said, I had to tell my staff to stop listening to the online chatter about our game because it is such a small percentage of people, the hardcore gamers, such a small percentage of people, and they had metrics to figure out, where they had metrics to see where all the communication is coming from, and the online, Twitter and YouTube, those are super, super small. Remember, most of these games, they get game data from you, like automatically. I mean, Assassin's Creed won't even let you play their game unless you hit OK, right? So I think that this game is being made into a much bigger deal of having issues than there is, if that makes any sense. And that's just what I feel about it based on the data that I've accrued with the people that are actually playing the game. Heck, even me, RPG, and Henry played the game last night for 2 hours. and we had one time that we dropped. That's it. In the beginning, it was a little stuttery, but I think once the system kind of I don't say straightened out, but became solid, we had a great time.
Well, okay, there it is. The game is great. 99.1% of players is having no issue. That's
Well, if we have 150 million, or not 150 million, but we don't know how many games, we don't know how many copies of games sold, but obviously we're the 1% of the 1% anyways on social media, so and let's not act like social media is not an echo chamber. Let's not act like people are not shitting on Randy. War just said that?
Nah, Corey did.
Oh, Corey did. Let's not act like the social media is not an echo chamber. Let's not act like people hate on shit just to hate on it because it's a trend. Let's not act like you may be having one issue, but because you see others bitching about another issue, you join in on that cause, hopefully hoping that you get heard. Like, there's just so many, different things that go into this than more than just the game is freaking broken. Look at Expedition 33. That game had fucking issues. I didn't see anybody talking about it. Why? Because in the first 10 minutes, you fucking see somebody die, and all of a sudden it's the greatest story ever told. But yeah, nobody talked about how Unreal Engine 5 in that game was complete dog shit. And thanks to Warwana, who helped me fix that setting, it didn't fix it completely, right? But nobody said anything because, oh yeah, it's so romantic. Only there's 33 developers. That's why they called it Expedition 33. But then we find out, nah, they subbed out a lot of the work, and it was more than 33. Shit, the credits show you more than 33, right? So we love to pick and choose, and it's real easy to hate on somebody like Randy for saying some outlandish shit. But at the same time, I respect somebody like Randy because I know that Randy's gonna give me his true self. He's not gonna say something on social media and then behind the scenes, he's not gonna say, "Oh, I love you guys. The gamer is what we need to respect and all this," and then they get off social media and then they're talking to their coworker like, "Fuck those guys. I hate those guys." Like we've seen numerous times, right, with these developers tweeting each other and commenting under each other. And how many times during COVID did they tell us they hate us, right? How they make games for each other. Fuck, Neil Druckmann was one of them. I make games for my other directors and for my other colleagues. I'm not looking to make games for the gamer. They despised us, but now because their game is good, it's okay. So I just think we have to do a little bit of self-reflection with this shit because, and once again, I'm not defending the game. I'm having issues myself. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you about another issue that I had, which pissed me off. And you can go watch the stream that I did day one when I got the game. The dead zones on my controller were off. I switched between 3 controllers that day to make sure it wasn't my controller. And those of you guys that know me know I own like 20 different controllers, right? So the dead zones were off, which told me that this game, like, controller was the second thought for this game. They probably built this game from the ground up on PC first and then console. The dead zones were killing me. I still can't even really aim down the menu system with that mouse feature accurately. So yes, I have my own issues with the game as well. But to not only shit on Randy, shit on the game, and then I seen guys even shitting on the other developers that worked on this game, it's just insane to me.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with the developers. I don't have a problem with Randy personally. I don't know the guy. I have a problem with companies that come out and want to blame the gamer. That's
true too.
That's the problem, and that's what he could have come out and said, "Guys, I know that there's issues being reported right now. We are working as hard as we can. Bear with us. Thank y'all for showing interest in the game, and move the fuck on."
But Thrifty, if you see that, like the super small, or out of the one, let's just round it up to even number because this whole .00 shit is killing me.
Hell yeah!
Let's just say
yes, come out and say, "Hey guys, I know y'all are having problems. We have had a very successful launch. 99% of players are not reporting any issues with the game. That is a massive ass success. Way to go, team. For the other guys out there, we are working diligently to get this stuff done."
But think about this. When he's blaming the gamer, he's not lying. Out of that 1%, he said he's saying that 0.6% of it is user error. That with coaching, we're fixing this. So when he says is your, I mean, it's facts. Now we don't want to hear that, but the numbers are showing that that's the true cause. I mean, right here it shows that he said valid 0.037 have experienced success with education settings coaching. So the majority of that 1% that there is actually something wrong, they're fixing it with coaching. So the player doesn't know what he's this PC in order to optimize for the game. And that's what held me back from, that's why I play on console, because I don't want to adjust anything. So it may be hard to hear, right? Nobody wants to be told the customer is wrong. We get told through the history of customer service that we don't blame the customer. But Thrifty, you work customer service. How many times you came across a customer that's just so demanding and all this and all that? Fucking asshole. Like, my God, you're using it wrong. You know what I mean? Like, it's a you problem, but we just don't say that because, you know, we have professionalism. Randy obviously doesn't, but we've known this about Randy.
Randy
this isn't
also has
anything
something
new.
that we don't have. He has a lot of fucking money.
That's true too.
There's
yes, he could handle it better, but he's not lying when it says it's your fault. Basically, once again, this is based on the info that we've gotten, because all this could be fabricated. This could be a big conspiracy theory to blame the gamer. I don't know.
Jesus.
I'm just going based on what we've seen.
No, I'm not going that far. I am tired of seeing these big AAA games come out and people are constantly reporting these issues. Now, is it 1%? Is it me? Because of the people that I'm seeing reporting are probably less than the people who call customer service, to be quite honest. So, am I going off of a small sample size as well? Probably. Sure. Yeah. You could say that very easily. Also, Wara, I did miss your super chat. So sorry. Wara, with the $2 from Down Under, that means a kangaroo delivers it in the mail to me. How many Borderlands games have you finished, aggressively average gamer? I have finished a total of 0. I have currently 12 hours in Borderlands 2. Part of it with a guy named Red from our Discord, and another part of those hours with Ace from also the channel, the Discord, all of that. So this was, Randy's comments were not necessarily, my issue's not necessarily with Borderlands in specific. It's with seeing AAA, and that's why I said, okay, Wara, you can believe what you would like to believe. I believe that you believe that. That is why I said I don't have a, I'm sorry, that is why I'm saying I don't have a problem with Borderlands 4 just in general. I have a problem with, it seems that AAA studios release games that should have had 1 to 2 more months of cooking. And what's strange is this game was actually pushed forward. Like, I was listening to a video from Jake Baldino today talking about the issues that folks are having on PC and just how it's released and all of that. And he reminded me in the video, because he points out that the dang thing was released, like, got bumped up by a month. Like, that's crazy to me. You bump it up by a month and you still have issues. Now, once again, this could have happened to Video Game Franchise X. Hell, it happened to Final Fantasy 16. Shit, that game should have had more time. Forspoken should have had more time. There's so many games that it's happened to. Jedi Survivor should have had more time. Cyberpunk took an extra year.
But do you think that Borderlands 4... So, Cyberpunk, I believe... I mean, not that I believe. I know it was. It was a malicious release. It was so malicious that they told the YouTubers that reviewed, you know, they gave them their own videos to talk about. Like, they couldn't use their own gameplay.
Yeah, I remember
freaking
that.
Jedi. That's another malicious release. They knew those games had the problem. Now, Borderlands, was it a malicious release? I don't think so. I think that if you are going to remember,
I mean, not if 99%
GTA,
of the people are not having, or at least not reporting issues. Let's even say the number is closer to maybe 10% of people having issues, right? Like, even if that is your number, I'm going to get this wrong, but it's okay because we have the street investigator here, so he'll keep me honest. I think I remember PlayStation talking about a 14%, for some reason 14% stuck in my head. A 14% failure rate or a launch rate on consoles, like on launch during your launch window, is actually a really like a success. Or like that was the number that they were expecting, and they only had like 4 or 5%. And I can't remember maybe that was the PS4. I think that's right. I think I'm right on that. I'll have to get back to y'all on that one, but I think that that's right. That whenever a tech product launches, having less, I think PlayStation's number was like less than 15%, and they were only at like 8% of a fail rate on the console. And so I think that that's right. Josh, let me know if I'm correct on that. I know that they spoke about it. I think I might have my numbers wrong, though. But like, so yeah, 1%, you're looking at me and telling me that every AC system that I install, every part that I replace, everything that I put on, every single capacitor that goes on, if I can guarantee my client, hey, listen, 1 out of 100 of these things fail. That's awesome. Like, that's really, really good. The failure rate is a little higher than that, but that's really good. So if that's the numbers they had, then sure. If this is all based off of just, hey, a fucked up sample size, and that's all it is, then fine. Great. But if it's not, and they knew these issues were there, and gamers now on Nexus mods have, let's see, one of the mods is at 40,000 downloads, the other one has just reached the 50,000 mark. I think that's what it says. Let me read that. The 2 mods alone have received 40,000 unique downloads. So 40,000 each, and it's saying the mods will undoubtedly reach over 50,000. That's 100,000 between both mods. So obviously somebody was able to go in there, fix the problems, and now they have it set up for mods on Nexus mods. Like, so somebody was able to fix it, which means there obviously was a problem. And
but if they knew these issues were happening, they wouldn't have pushed it up a month. You know what I mean? Like, GTA is no longer a threat for these games. Borderlands is, pretty much one or top 3 biggest games of the year. I mean, last game they sold 18 million. There's only like 10 to 15 games in history that even sold that amount, maybe more. But I just don't think that, and the main issues here is on PC once again. Besides the connection issues, it's on PC. That's the problem. So I just don't think that, unlike these other, so there's nuance in this. I don't think that like these other games that I mentioned earlier, where they did the shit on purpose. They knew the shit was fucked up, but because they had a hit, like Iron Man said over here, blaming the board or the publisher, whoever, the money people. I don't think that was the case with this one. I think that the issues they are having are honest issues. And the other thing too, this game has been out for 5 days. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like, it's 5 days, guys. That, like, there's gonna be a patch probably tomorrow or the next day. So it's like, I think people are they're making it bigger than what it seems, especially with modern gaming and how it's been. A AAA game that hasn't had any issues is slim pickings, man.
And that's the other thing I wanted to talk about. Maybe this is just the pile-on effect. Maybe this is just the pile-on effect from games releasing in such a terrible state, and UE5 causing so many issues in so many titles. And like you mentioned, you talked about the performance issues in Expedition 33. I did. I talked about the hair shimmer. I talked about the weird microaggressions on the facial features when they're standing still and nothing's happening and their cheeks are moving. Like, it's fucking weird. Like, I talked about that stuff. Nate and I both talked about the lighting being pitch black almost in the first major cave that you get to, and you can't really see shit. Like,
see nothing.
We've talked about the glitches that can happen when you're fighting some bosses that throw off your timing. Like, there's a ton of stuff in that game. So they
nerfed the fucking main character
in a single player title.
For a single player game.
Jeez. Yeah. And so, like, no, I get it. And maybe this is just pile on. Like, I will say this, and I said it in the video that y'all are gonna that the rest of everybody gets to see tomorrow. I am so excited for Trails in the Sky FC because I played 10 hours of it already, and I know that that game is going to come to me shipped, feature complete, ready to go. Because I've already played 10 hours. I played the demo. The demo has a little bit of pop-in around the mountain ranges. That's about it. And not even the mountain ranges, like the mountains on the sides of the valley that you're walking through. So like minor shit. The game runs very, very well. Now, granted, it doesn't look like Borderlands. It doesn't look like Jedi Survivor. It doesn't look like Cyberpunk. 1,000 million % get that. I am excited to have a game that's coming out that is feature complete at launch. That's going to be nice. And so I'm excited about that, but we'll see. We'll see if this continues, if it gets fixed, if Randy says any more outlandish stuff. And yeah, it goes back to what Will said earlier. If you're worried about a game, think a game's going to come out busted, like Will said, hey, it's only been 5 days. There's a patch coming. It's great. So next time, just wait for day 7 to buy the game that you wanted on day 1.
Yep, absolutely. I would take it even further. The only reason I bought the game day 1 is because my friends were buying it. Otherwise, I'm like, damn, I bought the holy shit edition for Borderlands 3 for $20. And that came with all the season pass. I'm like, I can afford to not play that game. Like, I got plenty of shit to play. But the only reason I did is because my buddies were going to get it. So, yeah, I mean, especially this year. But I think Borderlands is the casual game of the year. You know what I mean? It's just the one game out of 3 games that the casual gamer buys is one of them is going to be Borderlands. And that's why I think that a lot of the problems are happening, too, where people are being very vocal about this. But if you're a gamer like most of us in here who play games every day and are beating games constantly and getting the new shit, like, okay, well, it's having issues, you know, it's nothing new this gen, and we move on, we play something else if it's that bad. But from my experience, from the experience of my 8-9 people that I speak to on a regular basis, the only ones that seem to be having problems are PC people, and even not all PC people, because RPG88 hasn't had any problems. So I don't know, man. I just think there's a little bit of both. And the other thing that you said, Thrifty, let's see what other dumb shit Randy's going to say. Well, he is going to say more dumb shit. It's Randy. He's been making games for 30 years. Nothing's changing. So it's like when a person shows you who they are, believe them. You know what I mean? Just like when these developers said that they hate me, I believe them, right? So, I mean, come on, guys. We're all adults here. We know what's up. We know the little minutia. We know the little nuances and conversation, and we know when somebody fucking dislikes us, is lying or whatever.
Yeah. It's not hard. You can pretty well figure that shit out.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and move on. That was that, because I do want to get to this last thing, and we got about 15 minutes left, which we're not going to make, but it's fine. Totally fine. Because I told y'all a while back that I would continue following this story, and I really wanted to continue following this story. And so today I had found some stuff on it from gamesindustry.biz, and this is the lawsuit between Krafton and Unknown World Studio founders. Okay? So here we go. And here we go. There we go. Founders of Subnautica 2 Studio, Unknown Worlds, accuse parent company Krafton of changing story mid-litigation. And then a quote from the article itself says, Krafton's disorganized retreat raises more questions than answers. I'm going to read some of this, but long story short, the reason they started out with originally was that they were kind of... let me just read it. Here we go. The complaint concerns a $250 million bonus payout tied to revenue targets for early 2025 early access release of Subnautica 2, which the former shareholders of Unknown Worlds Entertainment, represented by the Fortis Advisors Group, alleged owners Krafton sought to avoid paying out by delaying the game using pressure tactics. Okay? In its defense, Krafton accused the 3 former leaders, then threatening to self-publish Subnautica 2, releasing it without Krafton's backing, marketing, promotion, or distribution. This, Krafton claims, left it with no choice but to terminate. Okay, so that's the original reason. They wanted to hold off, and the devs thought that no, the game is ready, we're ready, and we want our $250 million payout. That's what happened. That's how it was spun. That's how everybody kind of took it. That's how I interpreted it. Like, that's what happened. That makes complete sense to me. That's why I thought they might have had a leg to stand on. And then some other stuff came out. They had done some things. The developers were supposedly trying to keep some stuff to themselves, what have you. So let's keep going. The company also alleged that Max McGuire, Ted Gill, and Charlie Cleveland downloaded tens of thousands of company files, in quotes, and emails in the lead up to these terminations, and claimed former leadership refused to return or at least confirm what devices and confidential information remain in their possession. Now the founders claim that while Krafton initially alleged it fired them because of the founders' supposed intention to proceed with the premature release of Subnautica 2, that's reason one, and withdrawn game readiness as grounds to justify its actions, it has now pivoted to a new theory that is admittedly came up with only after the fact, that it terminated the founders and seized control because the founders backed up files they were entitled to in their work for Unknown Worlds. So basically they fire them, they say, hey, this is our work. Krafton says, no, it's ours, we own it. And now they're saying that they found out afterwards that they had downloaded all these files, so now they're upset. And now they're trying to say that that's the reason why they fired him. Time travel can't work. The only way it works is forward. So, like, that's why the guys over in Australia know what's going to happen tomorrow, because they're already living it. Like, that's how time travel works. It can only go forward. Can't go backwards. Look at Back to the Future. Doesn't actually work that well. You could screw up everything. So, doesn't work here either. Krafton's disorganized retreat raises more questions than answers. The court filing stated to say Krafton's new theory is a Hail Mary would be an understatement, both because the downloads were not wrongful and because Krafton claims not to have learned of them until after it fired the founders. The downloads cannot... wow, that's a really bad way to word that. The downloads could not have been... actual motivation for the termination. Consequently, lawyers for former CEO Ted Gill, co-founder and creative director Charlie Cleveland, and co-founder CTO Max McGuire requested that the court deny Krafton's forensic inspection, as well as dismiss the motion for protective grounds. So, there is all of that. I was talking to Will a little bit about this before the show. I fully believe that Krafton is gonna have to pay out that money. Like, I fully believe. Now, Will made the point a little early. I'll let him make it again, but I don't think that they're gonna pay all of it. I think they'll settle out of court. But that's just my opinion on it, because you can't go, okay, we're losing on one front. Uh-oh. Let's say we fired them for this thing that we found out after we actually fired them, so it couldn't actually be the reason for... Like, you got to think the judge is real dumb at that point. Like, you got to think...
There are a lot of them.
You got to think you got Elmer Fudd behind that dang bench looking at you going, okay, where's the rascally wabbit? And, like, that's because this is any judge with half a brain, any person that can understand, like, logically just how a sequence of events work, which is like my 6-year-old. You should be able to look at this and go, hey, that doesn't work. And so, yeah. Will, what do you think about this? This is my third time reporting on it, I believe. And every single time it gets a little bit better. So, what do you think about this, man?
Well, Krafton... how do I say this? Well, first things first, let me tell you where I stand. I'm a huge believer in justice. So, if Krafton is proved to have done wrongdoing, not only should they pay back every single penny that they promise, but also additional money for the time, effort, the slander, the whole 9 yards. But let's take this all the way back real quick. Let's talk about Callisto Protocol for a second. For those of you guys that don't know, Callisto Protocol was a game that was made or published by Krafton. I forget the name of the director, but they basically gave him carte blanche to do what he needed to do to come out with a game that he wanted to come out. Then towards the end there, about the year before the game was supposed to come out or so, they informed him that, hey, we need this game to come out. I think it was 3 months early or something like that. And because of that, the game got published early. A lot of people got brought in to help push that game to get done as soon as possible. And what Krafton ended up doing is a couple different things. One, they really messed up the launch of that game. The game ended up not doing what it needed to do, which, by the way, it sold well. I think it did 7 million copies. But then they had to fire a whole bunch of people immediately after because the studio at Hover hired way too many people so they can basically get it done in time. So Krafton basically is willing to jeopardize a whole expensive-ass game just for money, which if they were smart, they would have known that this would have actually cost them more damage than good. But they thought with the short-term brain, they thought, I'd rather get mine in now than later. Fast forward now to this lawsuit. If Krafton is willing to jeopardize their big investment, which I think Callisto Protocol was like $200 million, I could be wrong, but it was a lot of money. What makes you think they're not willing to jeopardize not paying out $200 million to a developer? First off, I don't even know why they even made that deal to begin with. Like, who the hell here plays, what's the name of the game? Subnautica. Like, who even plays Subnautica? Like, my son plays Subnautica. He played it for like 30 hours and he stopped. That's the only person I know that plays Subnautica. So the fact that they even offer that deal is ridiculous. And I think they realized that after the fact. And if they were that sleazy with Callisto, I wouldn't expect them to be any different. Once again, once they show you who they are, believe them.
Krafton is weird because in one breath we're like, dude, Krafton saved Tango Gameworks. That's really cool. Way to step in. Blah blah blah. And then, did they?
Or did they sign a deal with the devil?
That's kind of what I'm wondering now at this point. Like, hey, what are we looking at here? But no, I'm excited to see where this goes. I'm following it way more than I probably should because I want to see
Justice?
Not only that, but man, I want to see where the little guy gets the upper hand on the big studio. Like,
I mean, Krafton isn't really that big either. Like I don't recollect them outside of Callisto Protocol. What did they do outside of that?
That's not what I mean. But still, they're the boss. They're the ones who own it. They're the
no, yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? Like,
is there anything they did before that? Like, I can't remember of anything they.
Hang on.
Yeah, look it up because that's super interesting to me. I can't believe I haven't Googled this yet.
Well, they had PUBG.
Raichi, you play Subnautica, Mike? You play Subnautica?
No, he said Subnautica is huge.
Yeah, obviously Subnautica is huge. I fucking see it on sale for $20 every time I go to the store, and it's been 20 years since that game came out. Obviously, it's selling well because I still see it, but the point stands.
Let me go over here.
Two things can be true at once, bro.
Yeah, they're doing Zoe. I don't know what the fuck that game is.
Yeah, I never heard of that.
That's that sim game that's coming over to PlayStation and not making it over to Xbox.
It's like a Sims copy, right? But that's not out yet, right? That's still to be done.
Let me look. It's out on PC in early access. Sorry, I had to make sure that was accurate. I have people who like to make sure that I'm accurate in everything that I say.
Yeah, because I mean, there is a difference when you're doing business, you know, from a developer who's been around, who people know, who they have successful IPs, and you kind of know their management style a little bit, or not even management style, but the things they have produced in the industry. If some dude walked in my door right now and say, "Hey, I'm gonna pay you $500,000 for your house," I'm like, "Do I know you?" Versus, I don't know, big realtor companies stop by and say, "Hey, we're gonna give you $500,000 for your house." Like, those two are two completely separate things. And I just feel like if you're gonna be signing with Krafton, it's like is that smart?
So Striking Distance Studio, which is Callisto Protocol and Redacted.
Yeah.
Then another indie studio with games I've never heard of. Another indie studio with games I've once again never heard of. Now this is all PC. I'm looking on Steam right now. Obviously you have PUBG. I have literally played one match on PUBG Mobile, and
Well, don't
like
say that, Thrifty, because that means that it's not successful.
I know, because I never touched it. It's not successful.
Yes.
Uh, Unknown Worlds, Subnautica, Subnautica Below Zero, Moonbreaker, and Subnautica 2.
Okay, so I've heard of a couple of those. Okay.
And then upcoming titles, they got some stuff I've never heard of. They got, yeah, it looks like just an indie publishing house is what Krafton looks like. It looks like
Interesting.
just an indie publishing house. And so they have what looks like 7 studios underneath them. So yeah. And then he said, Josh just said Dinkum was at the Nintendo Direct. Yeah,
Okay.
and it released.
I don't know what that is.
It's another indie title, dude. It's just
Yeah.
it's all indie stuff. Like all indie stuff.
Yeah. So I want to make the money Krafton's making. So according to what you're saying here, I guess my early argument was right, huh?
They keep getting games to make.
Because I mean, if they're giving away $200 million to Subnautica, or they were willing to,
That
guess
that was to get him to sign. Oh, listen, if this comes out, my theory has always been that they put this in paper, they put this in writing, always with the intention of not paying it out.
not paying it out. That could be it.
That's
too.
just my like if I'm the crazy dude with the board behind me and I'm tying strings together, that's what it feels like. That's what it's like in my bones is what it feels like. It feels like that they never were going to pay it out. So hey, sign it over. It sounds too good to be true. Hey, Josh, I know it's hard to prove. That's why I said it just feels that way. Like,
Yeah.
fully aware I can't prove this. Shit, 95% of the stuff we talk about on here cannot be proven. And we have to
And bro,
wait until it comes out and gets proven, and then
yeah.
even that can be scrutinized. So, like,
And don't let it fool you. Shit like that happens all the freaking time. And I've been in boardrooms where I literally had to get up with whoever I'm with and just leave for legal reasons. Like, we're not gonna sit here and live. This sounds a lot like blackmail. This sounds a lot like theft. Like, shit happens like that. People forget that some of these CEOs, they're just regular people, man. And because they've been in a position of power and people listen to what they say because they can get fired, that ego tends to grow. And now they think they can say anything and it's okay, right? So don't, just because they're in a position of power doesn't mean that they're, ethical and doing the right thing and all that jazz.
yeah.
Which, once again, I'm not saying they did, Debbie. I don't know, but
Well, right. And that's the thing. We don't know. It feels like that, though, but we'll know more once the case gets finally finished and over. That's why I've been following it. I've been interested in this for a little bit. Also interested to see what Power World does. They are releasing a big update soon, from what I remember reading.
I mean, what's left after Nintendo gutted them?
Well, we'll have to see.
See how many patents Nintendo can come up with between now and fucking by the time
dude.
Power World comes out.
It's gonna be every game. If Nintendo had their way, every game would say "presented by Nintendo." Like,
Oh my god, bro, it's bad, bro.
Nintendo
It
wants
is bad.
5% of every game. As a matter of fact, when the landing screen pops up that has the PlayStation logo or the Xbox logo or whatever when you first start up your system,
Fucking Nintendo.
Nintendo's gonna patent that because that's what happened when you first turned on. I mean, everybody remembers the ding that happens when you first turn on Super Mario World in your Super Nintendo. Like, we all know that that startup noise with a graphic on the front, that is Nintendo. So, like, just wait, guys. They are coming for everything.
What's that movie where Taco Bell was like a fancy restaurant? I think Wesley Snipes was in there
Oh,
and
bro, that's
Sylvester
Demolition
Stallone.
Man, bro. Give
Oh,
that shit to
Demolition
me
Man.
all day long.
Uh, that's gonna be Nintendo in the future, bro. Every game ever published is published by Nintendo.
Be well.
These motherfuckers are patenting game mechanics and shit. Like, wow, it's insane. And that's where I meant, like, some judges are stupid. Like, some judge sat there and was like, you know what, Nintendo, we're gonna give this patent to you. Like, what? Okay.
Yeah, it's freaking wild. Like that whole thing is just crazy. I'll leave that over with the Nintendo people. That's some crazy stuff. I don't play but maybe 5 hours a year on a Nintendo, and so I'm good at that. I'm fine.
I beat my first Nintendo game last month or the month before in the last 30 freaking years, which was Donkey Kong. Because I
Oh,
left Nintendo after
nice.
the 64, you know what I mean? Like they're games for little kids, even though they don't sell to little kids, they sell to adults. Like I don't know what their marketing is. Like ain't no little kid gonna want to buy a Virtual Boy, but okay, whatever, it doesn't matter. But yeah, I beat Donkey Kong, and it was good. I mean, it was cool, but it's I just don't, as a gamer who's been gaming for 30 years, think of Nintendo as like my go-to, you know, or like I fucking can't wait, like shaking in my pants, you know, like for Nintendo. Like I don't know. Do you know anybody like that? Like a fully grown adult that besides Nelson that thinks like that?
That loves Nintendo.
Nelson just loves Nintendo because he's hating on PlayStation. You know, it's not because he
No,
really loves Nintendo.
it's it's like when you and your girl are fighting.
Oh
And
yeah,
like,
Josh said it's a toy company.
yeah, it's like when you and your girl are fighting though, and like, this is back in the day. I'm married now. I don't do this type of bullshit. My wife would just take me out. But like, you'd go out and you'd maybe flirt a little bit with the waitress. Maybe y'all two like just mess around like that. Just kind of stare like a little longer than you're supposed to. Why? Just because you were mad at your girl. So you just wanted to piss her off a little bit, not
Yep,
because you were actually leaving. So kind of like Nelson with Nintendo. He's not
yep, kind of
actually
like
leaving
Nelson.
PlayStation. It's just
No,
he's just he's just gonna go ahead and just stare at the Nintendo just a little bit longer to try to really rub it into PlayStation that he's
rub it
pissed
in.
off at him.
Wait, Josh, if Nintendo's a toy company, which I do agree with you, you're saying
Say
that a whole
more.
bunch of adult people are, uh, their number one customer?
Hey, you know what? Those Goo Goo Gaga games sell like hotcakes.
They do. I mean, I got a Switch too. I'm not
I mean,
saying
listen.
that I'm better than anybody here. I fucking do. I just beat Donkey Kong. You know what I mean?
It comes with a free
So,
pacifier and a bottle of milk. That's what it
I mean,
comes
true.
with.
I had to pay to turn the game on. I had to pay to play for more than an hour. I had to play to beat the game. Literally. Oh, I literally had to pay to beat Donkey Kong. They literally put a freaking. There's a part in Donkey Kong at the end where you literally have to go back and farm shit before you can advance. If you don't have enough gold nuggets, you can't move on.
I thought you
Like
meant
literally.
pay real money. I was like, wait a second, what?
I mean, that's what it feels like because you're paying with your time, you know. So when time is money, but no, literally, they ask you for, I think it's 2,000 the first time. Then 10 seconds later, they ask you for 5,000, and 10 seconds later, they ask you for 10,000. And I'm like, my guy, I just spent all my money with the last two dudes. Yeah, it sucked. But,
So, shit. Hero said, "Slow down, Thrifty. Slow down." As I was describing what we were doing, uh, it's a little fight scene from Marvel Hydra early build Black Panther. Gonna be fire. Hey, thanks, Lunchy. I'll check that out. Hang on. Lunchy coming in, dropping headlines. Here we go. By the way, guys, we've been here for 2 hours and 6 minutes. Hit that like button. We are 4 members away from the goal of a member stream. And yeah, if you could share this out too. Let me see this. Here we go. Let's see if this is. I'm gonna look at this first just to make sure that like, Lunchy's not trying to hack my computer or anything. It's just opening up random links from people. First look at Hydra. Oh, that's rough. I'm not showing that. That's terrible. Why? I guess it is very, very early, but I can kind of see what they're working with. Okay, here you go, guys. I'll show it. Here. It's very, very early. And there's no guarantee that this is from the game. Just something fun. Just something fun. I'm not saying that this is like from the game. Something fun here. So this is the supposed gameplay. And let me hop over here and try this.
Is this that 1940 something game?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra.
And what is this, like leaked footage?
Yes, supposedly it's leaked footage material we come across by a developer who worked on the game. We don't know the exact time or image.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean,
cool.
Hey, listen, early build, fun stuff.
I never judge any game till it's out, ever.
No, and we don't know when this was from. This could have been something that they showed to shareholders to get extra funding. Like, we have no idea.
It could be a vertical slice. It could have been a million different things.
It could have been, hey guys, this is the concept of what we want for the stuff. But that's awesome. Lunchi, I will definitely check them out. Yeah, he just said follow them. They're pretty credible. I will definitely look into that. And,
I mean, I love shit like this. Like, I love video games. I watch documentaries all the time. I mean, I go to sleep listening to video game documentaries and stuff. So I love all this type of shit. The problem is when people use it to weaponize it. You know what I mean? That's the problem.
Yeah, like they look at it and go, look how crappy this game's going to look. Look at all the jagged edges. Like, shut up, dude.
And we see that with the Spider-Man water, you know, Puddlegate. I mean, there's so many times.
Yeah. Puddlegate, that was actually one of my favorites. My second favorite was on a game that came out that had really rough performance also, but people were saying that it was going to melt your PS5. Remember that? The Ifrit fight from Final Fantasy 16? The liquid metal's going to melt if you have it vertical. That fight's going to crash your PlayStation. Like, come on, guys.
I mean, people were just saying that just because it was vertical. I'm like, what? Like, yeah, no, it's a crazy world out here, man.
It did look like Batman. It did. Iron Man said it looked like Batman. It really did.
I don't know. I'm excited. Look, man, I'm gonna tell you guys the honest reality of things is, for me, I like to give studios the benefit of the doubt. I like to give the benefit of the doubt to publishers. I like to look at things positively. I have a saying: look for reasons to play a game. Stop looking for reasons to not play a game. I stopped listening to YouTubers and people on X for reviews or any fucking thing about any fucking game. They have let us down so damn much. Cyberpunk, they lied to us. It was the best thing since sliced bread. Sure, maybe when it's done.
2 years later.
Mind's Eye, they told us that it was the worst game ever made. It was even worse than Cyberpunk. Well, I streamed it for 3 hours, day one. Obviously, it wasn't. What was the other one? Skull and Bones, right? Skull and Bones is complete garbage. I played with Ball Dante. We had a great time. Now, true, this was a year later after the game came out, so there could have been a lot of fixes. But Ball Dante, and I kind of agree with him, and he theorized that maybe the reason that people were going so hard on that game was because they were expecting Black Flag, and because it wasn't, then they went hard, right? And I can see that definitely happening because that was the talk of the town, right? Yes. So to say.
And that's what it was. It was because everybody wanted Black Flag, and they're like, wait, no offshore combat? What are you talking about? This is a pirate game. What are you doing? Like, that was...
Exactly.
I've never heard anybody say anything negative about the performance of the game, just that it was basic, and the stuff that they ask you to do for a pirate game it didn't ever feel fully fleshed out. Like, go on land. They wanted to go on land. They wanted to explore. They didn't... And so that's the only thing I've ever heard about the game, but I was never interested in playing a game that had all water combat. I didn't like the water combat in Black Flag. I'm not a fan of it in the Assassin's Creed games. And so, like, that Skull and Bones never messed with me. But, no, go ahead.
But yeah, no, I ended up getting a physical copy of that game on Woot.com for like $10, you know? So, the other game that I bought was that Lord of the Rings. What's that little ugly creature? Gollum. I bought Gollum. I haven't. Once again, it's another one I got for $10. I haven't opened it up and played it yet, but I'm going to eventually. But the point is, more often than not, I am being told by the so-called professionals or the so-called popular kids on social media that something is incredibly well done or completely garbage. And when I check it out for myself, it's neither or. It's usually in between. Usually has some problems, but it's not the worst it's ever been. It's decent, but it's not the best game ever. So what I recommend to you is, sure, listen to them. I listen to them still, but I don't let them form my own opinion. We've all been gaming for decades by now. Most of us here. Most of us, I would say, are over 30, right? That's the majority of the the millennial kind of thing is where the majority of gamers are that are around YouTube and such. I mean, that's the majority of people that are watching my channel. Those are the majority of the people that I communicate with on social media about gaming. So I'm just assuming that could be different for everybody. But the point is, I've been gaming long enough where I'm able to tell if I'm going to enjoy a game or not. I know which games I prefer, which ones I don't. So if you are going into a game like a roguelite, for example, or a Souls game where like I know I'm not good at Souls. I know I suck. I am terrible at them. I buy a Souls game and I don't like it. I'm not just going to shit on it. That's a me thing, right? But now if it's got performance problems, all sorts of shit, yeah, we can talk about that. Because you don't have to love or hate Souls. You can tell you're a gamer. Make up your own mind, man. A lot of the time, these dudes don't even play games. They don't even beat games. Journalists, they have said themselves, yeah, I play the first 5-10 hours of the game and I do my review. I just don't have the time to review all these games that we're getting, right? So don't ever let anybody prevent you from enjoying something that you would have enjoyed if it was just you when you're 20 years old or 15 years old, social media wasn't prevalent like that, or maybe even at all, and you walk to your EB Games or GameStop, and that game caught your eye because the art cover was pretty cool. You pick it up, you look at it, you read the back, and you say, you know what? I'm going to take this game home with me today. And then you go home, you play it, and it ends up being one of the best games you ever played. Go into it with that mentality, man, because sometimes we are so overwhelmed with information, and because Maddie Plays said it, Thrifty said it, Will said it, whoever said it, and you're hearing the same opinion back to back to back, you're like, well, then it's got to be true. When a lot of the time, guys, there is agendas. We talked about Crafton and what we think their agenda may be. We talked about Randy and what his agenda may be. Everybody is always going to have some sort of agenda. So have your own agenda. I want to play games that are interesting to me.
Yep. Speaking of games that are interesting, if y'all did not play Coffee Talk yet, one of the most interesting and fun games I've played all year.
Dope. Now, if you would have looked at that game, Thrifty, like, I don't know you.
Oh,
I don't want to speak for you.
No, my ass.
But
I got it only because of Nate and Morgan. I heard those two talk about that game for 25 minutes on their daggum show, the Autoplayer podcast. Go check it out. Like, I saw them or heard them talking about it, and I was like, what? Okay, so I went, and Morgan was like, it's on Plus. I was like, huh, I have Plus. So I downloaded it, and I played half of the game in one night. Then over the next 2 days, I complete the game. Then I download the second one, and I'm halfway through the second one.
Are you getting Tokyo?
I'm probably going to be getting Tokyo. Like, that game comes out October 20-something?
I got it pre-ordered. I don't remember the date. But I actually own Coffee Talk 1 and Coffee Talk 2, the, I don't know what these are called. They're like full-blown collector's edition, but they come in a box and shit. But it's a dope game, man. And look, I'm going to be real with you guys. I hope you don't mind me saying. I hope you don't mind me saying this, Thrifty. I apologize if it offends anybody, but when I first saw this game, I was like, oh, fucking furries. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, what the fuck is this shit?
Okay, so that's a different approach, because when I first saw it, and I started seeing the tiefling character and the orc and the vampire, and I was like, there's this fucking D&D meets Friends meets Cheers. Like, that's all this game is. It's a D&D campaign. I'm literally watching people play a D&D campaign through the eyes of a barista at a coffee shop. Like, that was my first instant connection. Second was, there's a lot of blue hair.
Well, that too.
Like,
a lot of cat ears and blue hair. I'm like,
cat ears and blue hair. So, like, but my first, because in one of my campaigns, actually in two of them, we've had somebody who has played a tabaxi before, which is a cat. It's a humanoid cat, and so like full feline, but walks on two legs. So yeah, it's so like my first thought was like, oh, this makes total sense. I get all of this, and I think that was the hook. That was the hook for me in Tiny Tina's Wonderland. Was I laughed my ass off in that game because of the fact that it just reminded me of playing D&D with my buddies. Because Tiny Tina is narrating the whole damn thing in the background because she's the dungeon master.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, one of the most fun experiences ever. And so, like, it was great. I loved it. Come to find out, I'm at a spot in the game where I need help, but that's okay. It's supposed to be played multiplayer and all that. But yeah, so I am... Holy crap, Stephen Leon with the 5 gifted members. Oh my goodness, pulling us above that member goal. We are there. Okay, so we have some options that I will get out to y'all tomorrow for when and what y'all want to do on the member stream, so be looking for that. Thank you, Stephen Leon. You hit Buddy Hall, Henzo, CB3, Cosmic Hero 270, and Raquel. Guys, if y'all are here listening, go ahead and hop on in and say thanks to Stephen for hitting y'all with that gifted. And that does push us above the threshold. So yeah, thank you so much, man. Rachie said, what I love of VN is they have very creative and absurd world building. VN. Will, do you know what VN stands for?
I think that may be the developer for Coffee Talk.
Okay.
I could have sworn it started with V. So
Let's
that could
see.
be them.
Nope, it's Togo Productions.
Oh, that's Toge.
Visual novels.
Toge, yeah.
Visual novels.
Oh, visual
Okay,
novels.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Learned something today.
I've played a couple visual novels back on the PS3. I played Heavy Rain, and then there was another one, and then recently I played The Man of Medan, which was creepy as shit, so I made it like 4 hours into
And Thrifty, you
it.
need to listen to Josh. You need to listen to him, man. You
Doki
need to play that
Doki,
Doki
I
Doki
know,
Literature
I
Club.
know. Oh my gosh.
I'm telling you, it changed my life, man. I thought the same thing, and I played it, and it became... I bought the physical copy immediately after. That's how much I liked it.
Isn't it?
Never gonna open
Isn't it just like cringe anime? Yeah, cringe anime. Sexual
What do you
talk
consider
the whole time?
cringe? Sexual talk? No. More relationship talk. It's deeper than that, way deeper than that. Like, I mean, that's I don't want to say anything else because that will spoil the game, and
Well,
that is what makes the game what it is.
And that's honestly, I have a review queued up already for Coffee Talk, but like, I might just do like a little 2-minute short on it because giving away any freaking part of the story past the fact that Freya, I think, is the main character. The fact that Freya is a writer who has put herself in this position of having to write for the company that owns the company she works for and still maintain her duties to that branch of the company without her direct boss finding out, which is spoiled on the first day in the game. Anything outside of that, it's like, oh yeah, that's a spoiler. Well, who's this person with cat ears asking for milk in your video? I can't really tell you. Who's this other person at? Well, I can't really tell you that either because they might be connected in some... Like, everything builds on it, and so you play 2 weeks in the game, and oh my goodness, it's so good. You get to make their drinks, you get to guess. Don't guess, just use the strategy guide. They're on there. You can find wikis that give you all the drink combinations. Super awesome. I was doing that once I kept getting the wrong drinks. I was like, F this. I don't want to get the wrong drinks. I love coffee too much. Don't screw up their order. And so...
Yeah,
anyways,
right now the game is $10 digital or
Worth
$15
it.
physical. So, or I'm
Either
talking
way.
about Doki Doki. But yeah, the Coffee Talk is always for cheap, guys. A couple of dollars. Yeah, but go check it out, man. I own the first one twice. I bought it for the PS4 physical, and then when I saw the actual little collector box thingy, I went ahead and bought that. Which I only do for games that I really like.
It was so good. And it wasn't... The thing I loved about it is they had the opportunity at several different stops throughout the game to make it about the quote-unquote message, or to make it
Oh yeah,
politicized, or to
yeah.
make it whatever, to put one of the isms into the game. And they
I didn't do
didn't.
that.
They did it subtly with a couple of the characters, and it was perfect. They talked about issues, like heavy issues, like interracial marriage type issues in the game. But they did it in such a way through the lens of like these D&D-esque characters that it didn't feel like they were trying to like solve world hunger with it or anything like that, but they were still talking to the player. They were still talking into these societal issues. And it was so good the way they did it. So much tact was used in that game. And also the humor in that damn thing. I will say this, you get to meet an astronaut. He is by The astronaut is by far one of my absolute favorite characters in the entirety of the game. So just go get Coffee Talk. It's so freaking good. That's a game I've beaten recently. It's one of like the 4 I think that I've beaten recently. And it's really freaking good. Anyways, that was a total side note. Will, before we get out of here, anything you want to tell the fine people?
No, man, don't be scared to try something new, man. I'm telling you, games are like a buffet. I understand the mashed potatoes and gravy and chicken is delicious. It's your go-to. But don't be scared to try a little bit of the ham or whatever. So try something new. I try to get into something completely new that I never played before every couple months, a couple times a year, just to check it out and invest 10, 15, 20 bucks. If you're a PS Plus member or subscriber, there's a ton of them in there, or they have sales all the time. But you can find me over on Will777JP. We just hit 1,700 subscribers over there yesterday. Come join us, man. The channel's on fire. We have a good growing community of guys that are just straight up gamers, and I love it. So if you're looking for something with physical games, heavy focus on games, come join us over there.
Yeah, so my internet just glitched. Thankfully, it didn't kill it. Whew. YouTube just said it lost connection for a second. So, okay. I played Gravity Rush for 40 minutes and thought it was trash. Gave it another try and became my favorite PS4 games. RIP Japan Studios, bro.
Those are the ones right there.
We could, yeah. And also, like Will said earlier too, and he brought up a great point earlier. If you know what you like, you don't have to force yourself to try something else. Like, yes, it's good to branch out, but it's also good to know, like, hey, if I got game X coming out, and I know that one's up my alley, I probably shouldn't be worried about game Y that's releasing at the exact same time. Like, and that's okay. You don't have to follow the hype. You don't have to believe what everybody says about a game or anything like that. If you like a game in a genre, play it. Like, I mean, I'm on record saying I had a great time with Lost Soul Aside. And I did. It was a really fun game outside of the performance issues.
How long was it?
26, 27 hours.
Well, that's not bad.
Yeah, by the end of it, it gets really fucking monotonous, though.
I didn't buy it. My buddy gave it to me. I wasn't going to buy it. It was either that or Metal Gear. And look, oh my God, I got a horse feel on Metal Gear, but yeah, no, okay, I'll get to it then.
And given the last patch they did, it actually did fix a lot of the issues. So they did the hot fix, or the big patch on day 1, and I think they've done 3 patches since then. Which is really cool, because they could have just dropped it and said, no, we're not doing anything. So, on one end, like you said with the Borderlands guys, it is cool that they are at least working on it. I wish it wouldn't have come out broken in the first place. That we've already hashed that and rehashed it. So, anyways, with all of that being said, guys, it is now 11:15 almost for me. I am going to get out of here. Next week on the show, On September 24th, we have Josh, which he'll be here on the 25th for him, the 24th for us, so he'll tell us what the next day is like. And then we also have returning guest Morgan Kimes. That is right. We have returning guest Morgan on the show. So really excited about that. The lineup for the rest of the 6 weeks, we still got Lunchi coming on. We got Faulkie. We got Will on another one. We got Steven out here. And then we also will be seeing Logic on the show as well. So got quite a few people. I know Innate and Jez will be sprinkled in there as well. And so, yeah, we have some really good stuff going on. Thank you to those who gave members tonight. That was Stephen Leon and Voyager88. Thank y'all so much for the members who showed up. Thank you for the community that showed up. Thank you for every single one of y'all who hit the like button and are going to watch this later. With all of that being said, y'all have a good night, and I'll catch you on the next one.